So guys, yesterday I had Christmas, and you're probably thinking, what the hell, Christmas is on the 30th of December, or whatever. Well, in the Netherlands, it's a little more complicated. We don't get presents on Christmas, and our Christmas is actually on the 5th of December, which it is right now, but in my case, 4th December. It's really sketchy, I'm not gonna get into it, it's just purely, it's also in Belgium, but just search it up. Just search up Santa Claus, yes, it is called Santa Claus. Um, or Sinterklaas. That is literally Dutch right there. Love that language. But I'm gonna show you what I got for Christmas. So first up, sorry for the ticking noise in the background, and I'll get into why there's a ticking sound in the background in a minute. The first present that I'm gonna show is, yes, I got a new tripod. Finally, I can film with my phone again without having to do some seriously annoying stuff. The videos that you've seen before are all filmed in HD on the Philips Olympus SP800UZ, which is this camera right there. But I'm still filming in 720p right now, just to reduce the amount of storage it's gonna take up. So yeah, it's a pretty cheap one, but that doesn't really matter because my dad did it on purpose, because my dad knows that I can buy a better tripod for my own money since I have a job now, semi-job. So yeah, I don't really care that it's a cheaper one. They will break eventually. I already broke I also had a really expensive one, which I broke in like 6 months or something. 8 months it broke due to my cat. It was literally just sitting right here filming a slow motion video, and it fell twice, and the second time it literally just broke for some reason. Yeah, really weak design. This came with some accessories. There was also a version without. I don't really care because I already have a Bluetooth shutter, but the Bluetooth shutter is pretty nice, even though I have two of them now. So yeah, if I want to do slow motion videos or like drop tests, I can do that. This one is adjustable, which none of my previous tripods had. My first tripod was like an absolute piece of crap. It was like $9 or something. And yes, you can still buy it, sadly. It's an absolute piece of crap. It's made by Mojo Gear, which is quite a good brand, I guess. This is one of the more expensive models, and I have my phone inside of the tripod now, and it's much more... Oh, it's actually much more stable than I thought, and I can change the angle of it, which is really great, because that's a good feature. So yeah, I'll get into the ticking sound later. The best present that I got is this, and I'll get into that later. The other present that I got are 4 AA batteries, 4 IKEA Lada batteries. These are the 2450 milliamp hour version, so that is a really beefy amount of power right there. I didn't per se need 4 of them, I only needed 2 of them, since my main setup was these two Topcrafts, which are about 2 years old now, 1.5 year old. These are 2500 milliamp hours. These are absolute beast of a cell. These are absolute beastly. These are really good, and they've been lasting for ages now. But what these should have replaced are these really old cells. These are super worn out. These are Golden Power 550 milliamp hour one. Yep, that's a really small capacity. Plus it's nickel cadmium, so it's really old chemistry. Yeah, it's a really worn out cell. It has lots of marks on it. I just found this in a drawer along with a Sony Charger, and I used these in my first ever YouTube camera. I use these a lot. I use these these are like 3 years old now. I've used them for like 3 years, and they just didn't want to die. I'll get into the Game Boy later. So they are really good batteries. If Golden Power still exists, I do recommend them. They make really good batteries. The reason that they even work are great, because I also found a Sony battery from the same age, which was totally dead. It was ridiculous. It lasted like 2 seconds. So yeah, the reason that I got 4 of them is great, since I actually had 4 of these, but I lost 2 of these really early than I got them. That's really bad, because these are really expensive. 2500 milliamp hours, like the maximum capacity they can shove into these tiny cells. So yeah, really nice that I got 4 of them. Yeah, and these actually weigh more than these top crafts, so that might mean that these hold more of their original capacity. Next up, with new batteries, holds a new charger, which I really needed, because my previous setup was this Sony Charger. This Sony Charger is great. I've been using it a lot. It doesn't heat up as much. The batteries do quite heat up in it, at least the top crafts do. It only takes like 5 hours to charge the top craft, which is quite ridiculously fast since they're really big cells. And as you can see, it also takes 2 AAAs, and you can also charge 1 AAA and 1 AA at the same time. It's a BC-CS2B, not a CS2A. It puts out 1.4 volts, which the Farta does not. The Farta charger that I got new puts out more. 160 milliamp hours for the AAAs, and 2 AA's will give you 400 milliamp hour, which is quite fast. That's like twice the speed of my Farta. You're probably thinking, why the hell did you get a slower charger? Well, I have 4 of these cells now. I have 4 IKEA cells now, and 2 of these. Plus, I will probably keep those nickel cadmium ones because they're still alive, and probably give them to someone or something. But I also have a really, where did it go? A really crappy charger that I'm actually gonna take apart and actually throw away. But I have no idea what it went. It is a really crappy plug charger. It's one of these, but it has 4 slots. There we go. There it is. It's this really old Elro BL21. This is not a smart charger. The Sony is a smart charger. It will flash when the batteries are broken, which it does with the yellow ones. And I've tried another smart charger and it does the same. So that's a smart charger. You can't do anything other with the Sony than charge batteries. If you try doing anything other than that, like using it as power supply, it will just cut out. So it's a really good Sony charger. Thus, I'm not throwing it away. But this thing, you can put cells in this and it will never ever stop until the cells blow up. I mean, this thing is so slow that I charged those nickel cadmium batteries for like 4 hours and they completely survived. But I would not trust this at all. It's pretty weighty, it's pretty darn retro, but only 3 slots work. Like, I'm not kidding. I can probably show you that with these IKEA cells. I'll take one IKEA. You know what? I'm gonna take my Topcraft cells, since these are pretty darn worn out too, because I've been using this for a project, which has lots of battery switching in it, since I've been using in that project had lots of power slurping. It doesn't blow up. That side works, as you can see. This side works. This side works, as you can see, but this side does not. And this side is wobbly. This side is perfect. I think this one is loose. This one is perfect. This one is wobbly. This one is loose. So yeah, it's a really crappy charger, and it will never stop. And I definitely don't trust my nickel metal hydride Topcraft batteries in here, since I don't want these to blow up. Yes, technically nickel batteries can handle overcharging. They will just heat up a lot, but I don't want them to lose capacity that quick. So yeah, that ends the story of that. So this thing will be thrown away, and I'm gonna open it up and see how bad it really is. I can showcase this Farta charger. It just has 2 at the front and 2 at the back. It says it puts out 2.8 volts actually. That's quite high. So that's probably the reason why the IKEA batteries got pretty hot while using. 220 milliamp hours for, I don't know what they mean by 2/4. Please tell me in the comments. Is that like 2 cells or 4 cells? I have no idea. 220 milliamp hour for AA's and 120 milliamp hour for AAA. So it's a little bit slower than the Sony. Sony has 160 and 400. So yeah, it's almost twice as slow. But it is real. It does say on the packaging how long your battery is gonna need to charge. And this thing does have a function where I can show if the battery is short-circuited. Like, these lights will flash when you have a short-circuited cell. So it does have some form of protection. It does have short-circuit protection, so that's great. Just like the Sony. I think the Sony actually has that too. So the only downside of this charger really is that if you put 1 cell in, these are fully charged by the way. I thought it was broken, but this is just a thing that Farta does. When you put 1 cell in, it doesn't do anything. But when you put 2 cells in, it will just directly turn on with these extremely bright LED. No, it's not 2 LEDs, but thank goodness it's not 2. So yeah, this one is for the front, this one is for the back, and you can only do that. It says in the menu that you should not charge 1 AAA and 1 AA at the same time. Probably because of the voltage difference, because they need to charge at a different voltage. But I've done that before on my Sony and it worked fine. I did test it on here and it worked fine too. So yeah. Plus, this thing can not only charge 4 AA's at the same time, which is what I actually wanted. It can also charge 4 AA's at the same time, and that's where the ticking sounds come in. I'm using this as a battery discharger, and it doesn't really like these batteries, since one of these is completely dead, and this RC car is meant to run on non-rechargeables, since they put out 1.5 volts, but they last like, well, not that long, because these are AAA's. This freaking RC car takes AAA's. Isn't that just horrible? But yeah, I probably need to get 2 new AAA's as well, but I guess I'm just gonna get 4 of them if I buy new. So as you can see, it has these inner slots, and it charges 4 AAA's. I haven't even tested that out yet. These cells came out of a what is it called? That household phone. This battery is leaked, but it does work. It doesn't leak yet. It doesn't. There's not like stuff coming out. I have tried 2 AAA's, but not 4 of them. Seems to work fine. I'm actually pretty curious to see what will happen when I put these cells to the test. These are 700 milliamp hours, and they probably hold about, I'm not totally sure. Probably like 450 milliamp hour. I'm not totally sure what they hold. Because I have no idea what circumstances these have been in. This one is probably even more dead. I mean, like 1000 milliamp hours, that's like the maximum you can put into a AAA, and that's pretty large actually for a AAA. So I'm just gonna put these back, and I'm doing a discharge test on these to see how good those GP cells are. And this is the voltage one of the GP cells had. And the Game Boy is discharging those nickel cadmium ones just to see. Oh, sorry there. Just to see how fast it's gonna charge 2 nickel cadmium cells, since they are like 400 milliamp hours, and it only lists 800 milliamp hours max, and that's like 4 hours. So will it charge these in like 2 hours? Not completely sure. 800 milliamp hour AAA's it would charge in 8 hours. So I'm also pretty curious to see what it does to those 700 milliamp hour ones. Oh, and there it stopped. Man, this is absolutely ridiculous. There we go. So yeah. That's the photo charger. With my tripod, but the biggest gift is sitting in here. I'm pretty curious to see what you guys are gonna like if I take that thing apart on camera. I'm probably gonna do that since there's like no circuitry at all inside of there. So yeah, let's just open this up, I guess. I also didn't know what this was, but I wanted it really badly. There we go. So, and it's a freaking soldering set, as you can see. Because my old one was really old and really bad. Like, it was an absolute horrible thing. I actually broke some soldering pads on like a power bank chip because of that thing. So this thing is really good. This is the best gift ever because it has it even comes with a wire cutter or stripper. I don't have a proper one. I only use like screwdrivers or scissors, and they've been doing the job fine, but this is much better. It comes with electrical lead. No idea what the minimum voltage of these is, but it's still really great. This is temperature adjustment, and it also has a on and off switch, so that's really nice. I have opened it up, but I've never used it. One of the biggest surprises, in my opinion, is this comes with a freaking desoldering gun. At first, I have no idea what this was, but it's a freaking desoldering gun. Don't know if you even need this to desolder something. I think you just need to make it really hot and then just slip off the wire. And it comes with tin, which is really good. At least it's called tin in my country, because this stuff is really freaking expensive. And if this stuff is like completely empty, if you don't have any tin left, they got you covered with some copper wire, which you can use for soldering as well. So that's really good. It also comes with 5 extra replacement tips, which is absolutely amazing, since the tip is actually the problem on my old one. The tip on my old one broke, and it's like impossible to get new tips, I guess. Not completely sure actually. If this is put it in wrong, I don't really care, since this is really soft stuff. So even if you put it in the wrong way, so it's not gonna be bad. So I'm just gonna test this later. But yeah, it's an Altec set, which is really good. Never heard of the brand before, but it's really good that it comes to this suitcase. Because my old soldering set not only doesn't get hot enough, In fact, it doesn't. It's only 20 watts. I have no idea what the wattage of this is because it didn't come with a proper box. But 20 watts is like not enough because the soldering started to melt, like the soldering. The tin started to melt, but after it got melted, it got really soft. Like it got really soft and really flat. It didn't like melt properly onto the thing itself, and it was really dirty and all that. The box was absolutely horrendous. It didn't have proper stuff to do proper stuff, you know. So this is much better. I'm not gonna throw away my old ones. It's vintage, so it will be worth money someday. Um, so yeah, I guess that's it. Oh man, I really like this tripod, even though it's so cheap. I don't care. It's really great. So yeah, new batteries, new ladder batteries. Um, a great charger overall. I mean, this thing took 13 hours in total to charge this, maybe even longer, because I left this on the charger for the entire night, and the next day it was not fully charged. It was like fully charged about an hour ago. And all of these put out 1.4 volts, 1.4, almost 1.5 volts. So I don't know why people aren't buying rechargeable batteries that much, because um, these are $7.50, and you're probably thinking that's pretty expensive, and you'd be right, but you can buy a pack of 20 alkaline non-rechargeables, and that is like really wasteful. I mean, these are not bad. These are two non-rechargeable ones. These, after like 3 years, these are starting to get empty, but they still hold 1.5 volts, and that's ridiculous. Look, even the GP cells that are measured here don't even hold that. So yeah, pretty impressive. Really nice that I got 4 of them, but I'm not gonna keep 2 of them as a backup, because if a pair of these breaks, these are gonna be long dead, because these probably last really long. So see you in the next video, and I'm gonna take this apart, I guess.